guys, thanks for tuning in. This is optibotimus coming with another video review. And before we actually get to it, I'd like to ask you to hit that thumbs up button. It's kind of like an online fist bump. So go ahead and hit it. It goes a long way towards helping me out, and I'd really appreciate it. And now that's done. On today's episode, we're going to be taking a very special look of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle 1-to-1 scale Raphael Sai set. For the package, as you can see, this is huge. You got a really cool Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle logo there in the top. On the side of it, you can see you got the Raphael Sai set there. You got that TMNT logo. And this is what you're getting. This thing is absolutely terrific. On the side, you got a really cool image of Raphael. On the opposite side here, you got a similar image. And then on the bottom, stuff. I don't think what's on the opposite. I think the opposite side has the same thing as the other one. Yeah, so you get a good look at everything that you're getting in here. But one thing that's really very cool is because this is a prop replica, but more importantly, an actual kind of real weapon. One thing that I absolutely love is all the foam that they use in here, which very nicely protects everything. And obviously when you open it up, you can see like you got the little sewer cover thing right there. So really very spectacular. This is something that I'm absolutely excited about. So for the packaging on it, that's about it. And now without further ado, let's get this out here and see how cool it actually is. Alright guys, so here we have the size open up and out of their packaging. And first up, you do get a couple extra documents with it. The first one here being kind of a story on the prop itself, and how Factory Entertainment, being huge Ninja Turtle fans, essentially asked themselves, if the 1980s animated Turtles were real, what would their weapons look like? And that was the inspiration for making these. A museum-quality realization of Raphael's signature weapons, suitable for grown-up collectors who still want to celebrate their turtle power. Down here at the bottom, you can also see that it does have a certificate of authenticity. And then on the back, it goes on to say that they worked very closely with the team at Nickelodeon and studied extensively the classic animation series to, as I said, give us real-world replicas. And then it goes into describing all the other parts that you get, but I'll do that for you. But it also does mention that this item is intended for mature adults over 18 years of age and is intended for display. One thing that I will say is that while these are prop replicas, they very much are dangerous. But as I said, I'll get into more of that here in a little bit. And then you also do get some instructions for it on how to put the entire display together, and very important safety instructions, cautioning that this does contain a functional point as well as embedded magnets. And the thing that I really got the impression of right when I held the box for this was just how heavy it was. This is a very substantial set. First, you do get a little bit of a medallion thing here. Made out of solid metal. You can see that it says Raphael Sai limited edition prop replica with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle logo, and you can see that this is number 164 out of 1,000. So these are limited and true collector pieces. On the back, it's just this blank section right there. And then you can see on the actual display section right here, you have this rounded out section that this just fits right there. Now, setting these off to the side because I don't want to spoil too much. The main section of the display is this very heavy poly resin display base. As you can see, you've got that little section right there where you can put the little plaque, but then you also have these little indents that the other pieces fit into. But you can see real great detail. Like I said, poly resin, so very heavy. But it allows you to get a real great amount of etched in detail. I mean, there's actual like scratches and stuff throughout this, which looks absolutely terrific. The paint variation is all very nicely done. You can see that it's a fairly thick piece. On the bottom section here, you got these little foam pads, which do a good job of elevating the bottom. And as you can see on the bottom, you got the four fists representing the turtles. You got unity, power, spirit, and of course, the most important thing, pizza. The really nice display base right there that again gives you a full sense of the overall weight and quality of the piece. It's almost so much that it's making my table bend, and I'm kind of worried that it's going to collapse. But you also do have these 1-to-1 scale hands and upper part of the forearm for Raphael. You got a nice cloth wrist guard going around there. You got a little section right here. You can move this around. It's not like permanently attached. So if you had it like this, and maybe when I got it out of the box, I remember it like being like that. So you can rotate that around and kind of mitigate that little seam. But
great detail on here. Like I said, 1-to-1 scale, so you can see that he's actually fairly large, you know, in terms of the fingers and things like that, but great detail with like the vein work. You got some different actual green paint variation throughout there coming around to the hand. You can see those veins continue on, again, made out of actually poly resin with a magnetic section down here. You can see the little magnetic pieces kind of right in here that nicely attach to the base, and I'll show that here in a second. But you can see some nice paint variation again in the wrinkles here. You got the sculpted in knuckle section. I mean, overall, absolutely terrific. And then again, you have that here with the right hand. They do look like they're basically the same. I'm trying to see if there's any sculpted different. I don't see really any sculpted difference between them. So I think they are just kind of like mirror opposites of one another. But you can see that the magnet does kind of even grab here. So all you do for this, and again, I have to be very careful because I can already see this section. You can't see it, but I can see the plastic on my table kind of bowing in. So you got those little indents right here. So you just swivel this around. You can see how it's shaped. You just put that right there, spin this around. I'm going to try to bring this to the center here, and it makes me nervous. And then you just take this section and you put that right there as well. And now, again, you're seeing an absolutely terrific looking display base. But then bringing in the pièce de résistance, the size. Again, absolutely spectacular looking. These are solid metal pieces from the tip all the way to the bottom, which is amazing. And this is where I was talking about that this can actually hurt someone. If you wanted to, you could use this as a real sai. Now, most of them have a much more sharp point here, but obviously for safety reasons, they have to round that out a little bit. But you could still seriously hurt somebody if you jab that. Now, I joked with the factory entertainment people saying that I want to take this and throw it at a watermelon. Well, I went to go get a watermelon and I saw the price of watermelons right now, and I'm like, you know, I'm not going to do that. But I did want to take this and just like toss it at a watermelon and see if I could stab it in there. You absolutely could, I would imagine. I mean, a very heavy feel. It does feel nicely balanced throughout the entire thing. The whole handle down here is also a continuation of the metal. And obviously you can see that it's very nicely chrome plated. One thing that I will say is that the chrome does get a little bit nicked. This was entirely my fault. I'm taking my wedding ring, which is made out of tungsten carbide, which is a very hard metal. I honestly think it's like the second hardest thing. The only thing harder than it is a diamond. And I was hitting it to kind of articulate that this is solid, and I shouldn't have, because it did nick it up a little bit, but it doesn't bother me really all much. I think it adds, you know, a level of realism to it, which you're not going to be able to see. But there's some very fine nicks on there. But again, that was all my fault. Coming down to the handle, you actually have a nice leather wrapped handle. Again, very nice and accurate to how the animation looked, especially down to the brass pommel, which is magnetic, and I'll show why that is in the case. It actually is used for sliding that in there. So this piece does detach. So if you were going to use this as a weapon, I would probably say remove that. But you can see that it's magnetic and it just locks in there very nicely. But just gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous pieces. They nailed it all the way down from the top to the bottom. Now, like I said, for the display, you want to remove this, and then all you do is just slide it into his hand. Very simple. And then you replace the little pommel piece right there, and you're basically seeing how the display is going to come together. If I come up a little bit more, you can see a little bit more of what's actually going on here. And then for the other one, identical to the one that I just put on here, there's a few more little nicks on here again, because I mean, so still all the way solid metal, nice leather wraps. You got the brass pommel with the magnet in there. Again, slide it in through there. I'm going slowly, mostly just because of my table, as I talked about. So getting that in there, and then you come around here, attach that. It does have a specific way of going on there. You can kind of see like there's a little flattened out section. Everything else is rounded, and then you got a little flat section right here that makes it fit on there perfectly. But this is just absolutely gorgeous. I'm really amazed with how great this turned out. As I said, a lot of times prop replicas are cool, but they're not functional. I think the coolest part about this is the fact that it's functional. If you really wanted to use this as a weapon, you could. I mean, I have several prop replica swords that I would not use as an actual sword. If I wanted to use these as actual weapons, I could. And that's the really crazy, awesome part about it. Now, the other ridiculously awesome thing is, when Factory Entertainment contacted me, I knew they were going to send me this. When I was looking through their stuff, I did see that they have a special San Diego Comic-Con version, which features a slightly different look, but also features a little plate section that was actually autographed by the co-creator of the Ninja Turtles from way back in the 80s, that being none other than Kevin Eastman. And I was beyond blown away when I got this package and it featured both this and that exclusive San Diego Comic-Con set. I just could not believe it. Now, you get a slightly different set of paperwork with it. It does have that same read-up and everything. You can see, though, it's all printed on one page instead of being reversed. But it also has a certificate of authenticity actually showing Kevin Eastman signing the little plaques. You can see that I have number 23 out of 100, so even more limited. And does that dude not look like a Doc Brown crazy scientist sort? But you get this. It's a little bit different. And then this is that piece. This is absolutely spectacular for me to have in my collection as a huge Ninja Turtle fan from way back when the comics were created. It's an absolute honor to be able to have this. Now, I didn't get this myself. One day I hope to actually meet him, maybe even Peter Laird, I have no idea. But for them to send this really was beyond my kind of expectations. I mentioned how I liked it and they still sent it, so this right here honestly is one of the outstanding pieces in my entire collection, and that says a lot. Now, the other thing that they did is give us a slightly different looking display. The base itself is identical. You also have the little hole right there where you can put that Kevin Eastman autograph. But instead of the cartoon coloring, they give you this monochrome set. Now, obviously, you get both the right and left hand, but you can see that instead of green, it's done in this color that more homages the black and white color that the comic books had. They didn't have the red bandana, but obviously that's something that I don't mind all that much. In some of the cover art, they had the colors and stuff in there. So, I mean, it doesn't bother me really all that much. I love the way that looks. That's really very, very cool. Again, setting that there very carefully. And they slightly changed the size. Now, obviously, it's still solid metal. It's got the nice chrome finish. But instead of the brown leather straps, they use this gray color, which more matches with how the hand is. And then they used a more dark gray pommel instead of the gold one here. So, overall, I mean, again, absolutely beautiful looking. And like I said, I was amazed that they sent me both sets. And when I contacted them, I specifically asked, what exactly do you want me to do with them? And they point blank said, do whatever you want. So what I'm going to do is actually give this set away because they were nice enough to give me that Kevin Eastman set. I'm going to pay it forward and give this away to one of you viewers. So the rules are very, very simple. Number one, you have to be subscribed to my YouTube channel. If you're not, hit that subscribe button and subscribble right now. Also, we gotta get this video to 50,000 views. I know that sounds like a lot, but I really believe that we can do it. So you watching it, sharing it, spreading it around gets those views going really quick. And how I'll pick a winner is simply leave me a comment and let me know who your favorite Ninja Turtle is. And as soon as we hit 50,000 views on this video, I'll go through the comments and randomly pick one of you to get this. Now, international people, the rules and regulations on mailing something like this internationally because it may be viewed as a weapon. So unfortunately, I am going to have to limit this to just United States-based subscribers. I apologize, but as I said, I'm doing this myself and I don't want to get in trouble. But that's it. Very simple. All you have to do is be subscribed and leave me a comment in the comment section telling me who your favorite turtle is. And one of you will be picked to win this exact set. And finally, I have to send a very special thanks to the folks over at Factory Entertainment for making this review possible. Especially since they sent me the Kevin Eastman version and they absolutely didn't have to do that. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. So once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been Optibotimus. Don't forget that if you like this video, to please hit that thumbs up button. It goes a long way towards helping me out, and I'd really appreciate it. Also, be sure to subscribe in case you haven't already subscribed. That way you get instant email notifications whenever I upload a new video, and you never miss out on a future review of mine. Or if you're already subscribed, be sure to click on that little bell on my homepage and double check your settings to make sure that they're set so that you get those email notifications. And as always, until next time, cowabunga, dudes!